GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio, internet radio station powered by GMG LLC.
In the beginning there was Jack, and Jack had a groove. And after a while, a deep sleep fell upon him, and he went looking for a new groove. He began looking for a new nation, and it had to be a soulful nation. And he found it, and it was Soulful House Nation. And he saw a building. It was a tall building. It had 10 stories, and he entered the building and got on the elevator and pushed the 10th floor. But it stopped on the 8th floor. And that's where he found his new groove. And he began to jack and jack and jack and jack. And he knew that this was it. It was Soulful House Nation on the 8th floor. Get ready, get ready.
Get ready, Get ready, get ready, get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, I am DJ Dan Soulful House Nation coming to you live from the eighth floor. I am the unusual suspect. This is Soulful House Nation. And today I'm super excited because we have a gentleman that I've known for many, many moons. I guess say almost as soon as I came into this house music thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome DJ Frankie Vibe. Frankie, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Dan? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. Well,
Good,
listen, the
good.
last time we got together was, I think it was August 31st. We're trying to get that thing up and running, and who knows what happened. But
Yeah.
anyway, well, listen, tell us a little bit about you. Just want to start off with the easy stuff. For those who haven't had the pleasure to meet you, tell us a little bit about you. Yeah.
Oh gosh, where do I start? Um, man, I'm just a guy that I love the Lord. First of all, I love the Lord. I love my family, and I just love music. I love seeing people enjoy house music, whether I'm DJing or not, doesn't matter.
Hmm.
I just love to see people have a good time. Um, I'm also a gospel DJ as well, so I love to see people when I'm in that setting, in a sacred setting. I just love to see people praise God and worship and just be in the presence, usher in the presence of the Lord through music. I'm a father. I have two sons. Uh, been in pulpit ministry for over 2 years now. Uh,
Gotcha.
as I got licensed and ordained 2 years ago, and very thankful about that. I love to. I'm not a because people ask me, what kind of preacher are you? I'm really a teacher.
Gotcha.
Um, I go by my scripture when it comes to teaching. If you need a scripture reference, would be Matthew 28, which is the Great Commission, where Jesus told the disciples, to go and uh, teach my word to the nations of the world. So I'm really a teacher. I'm not a hooper at all. I'm not a hooper at all. I'm a teacher. I like to break it down so people can have an understanding of God's word when it comes to that. Um, but through the teaching comes proclamation, comes proclaiming God's word. And I'm thankful, and I believe in God's word from Exodus all the way to Revelation. I believe in God's word, and I'm thankful for it because it's God's word that has saved and delivered me, including my family as well. So I'm thankful, very thankful about that. And like anybody else, I just like to live, love, laugh, and just see people succeed, especially, like yourself. I want to see you do well, in Soulful House Nation. I've always said, man, you're doing a great job. I love what
Thank
you
you.
do. I
Thank
love
you.
the energy that you put into it. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Yeah, the naysayers are gonna come and they're gonna say things, but don't be discouraged. Keep on doing the assignment that God's putting you to do. And you're doing an awesome job, brother. You really are. And I thank you for having me on today. I really
Listen,
appreciate it. Thank you.
listen, I first of all, let me say thank you because I've always appreciated, let's say, your level-headedness. I've always appreciated that you love the Lord, and the two can exist in the same universe, loving the
Absolutely.
Lord and loving this music. So it can then the next thing too is that you got the skills, you got the goods. So so
Praise
that's
God.
always
Yeah, every gift that comes from the Lord is good and it's perfect. And
Mhm.
trust me that it's and yeah, I put in the work, I put in the time to develop it. But if it wasn't, believe me, if it wasn't in me to do it, trust me, I'd have stopped a long time ago.
Mm. Now, where are you from originally?
I was raised in the great borough of Roselle, New Jersey. I am a
Oh, really?
Roselle Ram, graduate. I graduated in 1984.
Okay, okay. So yeah, we got okay, right. So Roselle right next to Linden and all that, because
Yes.
we got a lot of brothers and sisters from that location.
Oh
Okay.
yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, how about music? How'd you get into music and who were some of your early music influences?
Well, to be honest,
Okay.
somebody asked me years ago because I had the same interview, introduction and everything. Um, and they expected me to say, somebody off the radio, my first initial influence when it comes to music.
Hmm.
My initial influence was my mother. My mother, Lavira, I call her Lavira Vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, Mama Vibe, Mama Vibe. Yeah.
Mhm.
She always had music in the house.
Mhm.
I remember when I was a preteen, and she got blessed with a phonograph, and she called my uncle, her brother, who was a truck driver, but he had just on hand skills. He could do it all,
Mhm.
and she told him what she wanted, and he was able to bring the music. He ran speaker wire from the basement into the living room and into her bedroom.
Uh-oh.
So we always had music in the house, and then eventually I got a radio, and when I wasn't listening to her music, I was listening to my own. But
Mm.
we kind of would go back and forth where it was like she'd be listening to one station. Let's say she's listening to BLS
Uh-huh.
and I'm listening to NJR. And she's like, "Oh, what's that song? What's that song you're listening to? What's that? What's that on? Oh, that's on NJR, mom. 1400 NJR,
That's it.
1430. I forgot the number.
1430 the
1430. There you go. Yeah, 1430 NJR. And
uh-huh.
she would turn that, and I vice versa. I'd be like, "Oh, mom, what's that song? What's that? What's that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's on BLS. Oh, okay, let me go to BLS. So yeah, we would go back and forth. But yeah, she was my an initial influence to music. So we love to listen to the radio. She actually used to buy records. You
Okay.
know, she bought, yeah, oh yeah. Oh man, let me tell you, Dan, she had 45s and 33s. Yes, she did. She had the 12-inch
Mhm.
33s.
Mhm.
And I tell you, I would go downstairs like on a Saturday night, as a preteen, because I couldn't go nowhere. I was a kid,
That's it.
just listen to her music, and yeah, man, yeah, definitely, yeah, mom definitely influencing music, and
Mhm.
then eventually, around that same time, I got into playing music. I actually played trumpet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I played trumpet. Yeah, I played trumpet. Actually, I joined the Boy Scouts, and we were so good. The pack that I was in, we would actually go from pack to pack. I played trumpet. You had a brother, he played the sax, and another brother played the uh, clarinet. Um, we had people play the drums. And we were that good, man. It was great. It was really good. Yeah, like I said, telling my age. Back in the '70s. And growing up, everybody played instruments.
Mm.
Everybody played something.
Right. Got you.
You know, I had a cousin. He taught me how to play drums, but
Mm.
but when I got into sports, I got into track, I got into football, and that kind of took a lot of my time. Took my time away from playing the trumpet, and actually, I mean, I could like read music, but all that experience helped me be the DJ that I am. To be in key and how to beat match and all that stuff. But as far as just going into DJing, my brother DJ Groove, he taught me everything I needed to know regarding DJing. I mean, this brother took a year off his schedule, and he showed me from the ground up, how to set up, how to check out the acoustics of a room, um, checking the sound, checking the range, everything. He taught me everything, and I've always been grateful for him for that. And so, and I've been a DJ for 30 years. Yeah, 30, actually, yeah, 30 years. November, I actually have two anniversaries coming up. the next couple months, DJ Dan.
Okay.
Next month, I'll be celebrating 25 years of House of Inspirations, hence the shirt, House of Inspiration.
Okay.
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 Yeah, 25 years of that.
Mhm.
And 25 years of House of Inspirations, and November, 30 years just as a DJ.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, I just want to make a couple comments here. When you said WNJR, WNJR was it was the Black Rock of the Great East Coast, and
Yes.
and at that time when I was really listening to it, I was going to school in South Orange, and
Okay.
because of the proximity to Newark, I had a signal like it was almost stereo. It was
Yeah. You were right there. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The second thing I just wanted to make a note of. Now,
Well, it's funny, not to cut you off, but I just want to confirm something, because in my teenage years, growing up in Roselle, we had Bob Sumner. I call him Uncle Bob Sumner
gotcha.
because he was on SOU at the time at Seton Hall University.
Seton Hall University. That's why I went to
Yeah, and he is the father of the Roselle DJs, because he was the first DJ not only to have a radio show, but he was the first DJ that we saw do mobile work. I mean, he did my class night.
Okay.
He did our prom.
Mhm.
And I called him many a Thursday or Friday night, putting a request. I had my little girlfriend or whatever, and putting in a request, Uncle Bob, I want to dedicate the song to blah blah blah. He was like, all right, Frank, I'll shout you out.
Okay.
Oh, cool. So if it wasn't for Uncle Bob, there definitely, as far as radio, there would be no House of Inspirations. But he definitely set a standard, and big shout out to him. And actually, once again, the guy's so strategic. He is part of a morning devotional that we have every day with my pastor, Bishop Ernest Vaughn, who's also a Roseville graduate, and called Rise, Shine, Give God the Glory. We're on Facebook Live. We start at 6:15, and Uncle Bob, he be on there, and as well as the borough of Roselle be representing Roselle and Linden. And we get our morning devotional. Great way to start your day. So I just want to encourage folks. If you want to get your gospel coffee percolating and start your day, come check us out. Rise, Shine, Give God the Glory with Bishop Ernest Vaughn, starting at 6:15 on Facebook Live.
Gotcha. Now, something else you mentioned that I just want to speak to just for a moment. So, early influences was not with me. It was not some radio DJ or anything like that. It was Aunt Seal and Aunt Bert.
Everybody got an Aunt Seal because I got an Aunt Seal.
And guess what? They bought records. Now, I can't see, like, my parents weren't really into music. Like if they were alive, they would have heard of Michael Jackson because he was in the news. But they wouldn't have known anything about house music. They wouldn't have known anything about, let's say, maybe Usher, but certainly wouldn't know about R. Kelly, wouldn't know about Guy, wouldn't know about any of that kind of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Would not know any of the names of the hip hop artists. So, it's funny that you said that. And they bought records.
Right.
And because they bought records, and what was really, really great is that a lot of, like, you had like parents and family or whatever that didn't want you to touch.
Nope.
But mine were good. They were okay.
My Uncle David, I had two uncles.
Uh-huh.
My Uncle David and my Uncle Ronald, and they've gone on to glory.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Ronald, he lived in East Orange. Actually, they both lived in East Orange.
Mm-hmm.
And Uncle Ronald, we would go there on weekends,
Mm-hmm.
and I would ask him, can I play with the records? He's like, yeah, go ahead, Frankie. And I was allowed to, pick out the records I like. and his flavor was R&B and it was soul. But with
Gotcha.
Uncle David, I could not. I had to ask permission,
Gotcha.
and he was the one. He would pull out the record for me, and he would play. I could. He was more into. He was into rock. He was into funk.
Gotcha.
He was into harder, like especially funk and soul.
Gotcha.
Like he was into mandrill.
Okay.
He was into, he was into Ozzy Brothers. He was into Parliament Funkadelic. He was into War.
Okay.
But a lot of funk and soul, and Uncle Ron was into mostly R&B because like at Uncle Ron's house, I would listen to like Jackson 5, Marvin Gaye. My mother was a disco head. She liked Johnny Taylor.
Okay. Disco lady.
Yeah, she loves some disco lady. Emotions.
Okay, sure.
Anita Ward, Ring My Bell. Taste of Honey.
Sure.
And once again, I know we're telling our age, but that's okay.
See, not really.
We get better, not just older. We get better. Our internet was Right On magazine. My sister Michelle would get Right On, and and take out the posters and put them on the walls and whatnot. So yeah. See, you laugh because it's true.
Well, you know what it is, Frankie. For me, that's research.
That's what it was. That was research and development.
Yeah.
My Uncle David, Rick James. He liked Rick James.
Okay. Now, how did you get into house music? And where do you see it headed?
To be honest, I think it was just the progression on the radio because after disco died, we heard a lot of what I think you would agree with this term, more of the up-tempo R&B. Up-tempo R&B, electronic hip-hop, not EDM.
Right.
Electronic hip-hop. Like Man Parish.
Sure.
Got into Man Parish. Freeze, AEIOU.
Okay, Arthur Baker.
Yeah. Right. We got into that. And then and I think I would hear it on like the Kiss FM Master Mix shows. A lot of Colonel Abrams.
Sure.
And I heard The Music's Got Me.
Music got me. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me share something with you. All right. So, Henry, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Henry and I been buddies from back in the day. Now, I don't know how I do know how we fell into it, but because of who we was listening to our music, I was invited to this place called the Ave. Okay, so the Ave was like a bucket of blood, but on the white side. Now, every night, I played Friday, Saturday, whatever, and then I played all sort of places, the disco place. Okay. So every Friday, Saturday night, right around 11 o'clock, you could almost tell time about boom, 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 boom. There would be fights. And so what we do, we calm the music down, everybody get it together, we go here. Yeah, but watch this. So hip hop was starting to come out then, and things like Jam on It, White Lines, and this is the kind of stuff I played in that white bar.
Right.
Watch this. But also because I was there, I also was introduced and started playing new wave, which was originally out of England. Well, because you had Germany too, because you had like Trans Europe Express, but you also had New Order and stuff like that. And
numbers. If you're talking like 81, 82 numbers.
Yeah. Now also too, we played back then because we were pretty much the only black guys on the scene like that. But we played freestyle too.
Yes.
Well, Karina, Cover Girl.
Karina. Wow, Karina.
that stuff like that. We played Naeem, not no, what is it? Yeah, I think I could see the label. It was on Cutting Records.
Hashim, maybe.
Hashim, that's it. That's it.
Hashim, yep. That was a huge record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Because it's funny, and it's funny, you see, once again, this is stuff we talk about behind the scenes. Because 82 to maybe 85, freestyle and hip hop was like this. They ran side by side.
Yes.
They ran side by side. And I met some freestyle artists that was later in the 90s.
Right.
But I met like Little Susie.
Okay.
I met her dad. Oh my God, man. Yeah.
Well, actually, we did the sound. It was Henry and this guy named Carl Caruso.
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, we did the sound for Lisa Lisa. We did the sound for New Shoes. We did the sound for Karina, I mentioned, France Jolie. So we did like a lot of, we were doing that kind of stuff too. And France Jolie was on sort of like the disco side, but you could play her with the freestyle crowd. So anyway, so that's all back in the day there. So
yeah.
Now, where do you see house music headed?
Like I said, we've talked about this. We've talked about this. I mean, I just understand why house music is not on the level that it is overseas.
Okay.
I mean, to me, it's still on the regional tip. It's Jersey, New York, Baltimore, Miami, Chicago, Detroit, San Fran, LA. It's still regional. And I just understand with all this music, all this good music, quality music that's out, it's not on the national scale like it. And that's because, we as Americans, all these phobias that we have, I believe, it just should be on that level that where overseas, where you hear it 24/7 in the UK, in Switzerland, in Italy, in Greece, in South Africa. Oh my God, South Africa! Come on, come on, Dan. You know the deal.
Okay, all right. Okay, let me jump in here for a minute. All right. Well, wait a minute. A couple other places now that's happening. Atlanta still is happening.
Atlanta. Yeah, I forgot to mention Atlanta. Atlanta's still growing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about South Africa for just a moment. So when they first came out with this sound, to be fair, I wasn't 100% with it. Not that I didn't like it. It's just that I had to really learn more about it. And but really what got me to really check for it is Jihad Muhammad was playing a lot of Afro house at the cricket club. And so, like in the beginning, it was like, because it wasn't quote unquote soulful house, but it was Afro house. And I've even heard a mutual friend call it Congo Bongo. Now, that friend's name will go unnamed, but it's a mutual friend. But he would play it. He would play it a lot. And again, after a while, I said, wait a minute, hold it. I can't stop my leg. And next thing I know, I'm like, okay, I'm wrong with you. Now it's a staple. It's like you don't come play a whole set and don't include Afro House.
Correct.
So it's pretty interesting. And for us, for the most part, we listen to soulful Afro and gospel house. Now, maybe there's a tech house song here and there, but for the most part, that's what we listen to. And it's pretty interesting. So,
now, for me, and this is 95, 96, what's referred to as Afro House back then, I always heard the term, and I used it, I called it tribal house.
Okay.
And I heard people like Louis and Danny Tenaglia, Ansalade, of course, Jihad Naeem, our newer brothers, So for me, it was tribal.
Okay.
That's the term that I use.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we crossed over, like, in the early 2000s, that's when I started to hear the term Afro. And I was like, well, shoot, I can flow with that, because it's like it's enhanced tribal, because I was playing it back then,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one, and I haven't played it in a while, but one of the early, once again, tribal house joints I used to play was Ken Lo 3 Sensational Beats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always played that, and I've heard, like, people enhance that sound and everything, but for me, that was called tribal. And then, of course, like Some Say by Todd Terry,
right.
That classic, that once again, but for me, that was classic tribal. It wasn't called Afro, it was called tribal. That's the term that I heard back then.
Now, where's it headed? Where's this music headed?
I'll be honest, man, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Seriously, no. I tried to, say where it's going, and then it would go to, to the side or whatever. But and of course, life is lifing, because I know when we were like crossing into the 2020s, our outlook was so positive, but then the pandemic hit, and that knocked everybody off the loop, because you couldn't do anything.
Right.
You couldn't go nowhere. I mean, like everybody else. I mean, you were doing it, I was doing it, everybody and their brother. We were all doing the online thing. Trying to be creative as best we could, and I'm glad we did it. Because we got some positive results from it.
We did, and so okay. Let me just share this thought with you. So prior to those times, for the most part, now you did have some people like Big Logan and Sammy Rock and them who were playing online, Aunt B, these guys. But for the most part, it was like back in the day, if you couldn't get on CBS, NBC, Fox, 9, 11, whatever, you were locked out of the business.
Correct.
But when COVID hit, the negative part is we lost a lot of soldiers. When I say soldiers, I mean people in our community, people that we know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, one of the things that happened during that time is that we were no longer, I'm going to say, bound by, could I get on the radio? Could I get on this? Now, this ain't what do. It's like, listen, I create my own lane.
Yes.
I create my own lane. You can show
Correct.
up every week at this time. I'm going to be here, whatever, you could count on me. Some people played more often, but also, too, allowed to get your reps up. When I say get your reps up, put that work in. And,
that's right.
So your skills, and the more and more you play, the better and better you get. That's right. That's even if you're terrible. You can still, you develop your skill set. That was one of the things. Listen, look, Adjust the DJ, for example, in my estimation, was born during those times. What I mean by that, obviously, is that started playing during those times. And I mean, nobody has to tell you what he's done. And there are other guys.
Now, it was during the pandemic. That's when I first heard him.
Yep. Yeah.
That's when I first heard him. And I was like, wow, he's got potential. And then he just got better and better and better. And then I finally met him. Oh man, he's an awesome young man. Very mannerable, knows how to speak. His head is level-headed, so big up to his parents, just a good young man. And I want nothing but, success to come to him, to Amir, to Nasty Nas. What's the other brother?
We got Josh.
Josh Davis. Yeah. Good young men. So, House, in their hands, we have a good future.
Yeah.
Because that's something we talked about, is house music just going to end with our generation? Right. And if it ends with our generation, then we didn't do what we were supposed to do.
Absolutely. Did not pass the baton.
You have to pass the baton.
Let me tell you what.
It's mandatory.
You know what?
It's not an option.
That's right. That's how hip hop kept going. They passed the torch. They passed the torch. And the same thing, at some point, they keep it going. Now, to be fair, at some point, you got to allow for their interpretation of it.
Sure.
But if not, then it all dies with the more senior people, the better people, to use your terms, right?
Correct. Well, let me tell you a quick story. For me, like in 85, I made a life altering decision. My best friend and I, we went to the United States Marine Corps.
Okay.
And, you're meeting people from different parts of the country and you hear their interpretation of hip hop. And it's like, coming from New York, New Jersey, it's like, that's hip hop? No, it ain't. If it ain't from New York, it ain't hip hop. So I don't know what you listening to, but that ain't it. I met the brothers from the left coast, from Cali and whatnot. At the time, they were listening to early NWA. I was like, oh, that cursing. Where's the creativity? Man, that ain't hip hop. I don't know what that is. Sounds like a bunch of mess. So for me, it was beneath our standard. It wasn't acceptable. But once again, your interpretation is different from everyone else's. And then years later, when Rap City Yo MTV Raps, they start getting the exposure, and it's like, okay, there is something here. I hear that Ozzy Brothers groove in that Dr. Dre production. Okay, there is something there. I can relate to. Okay, so all right, I kind of accept it a little bit, but once again, I love my house music, and it was like, hip hop, I love you, but bye bye. I like house music.
One little thing about hip hop that I just wanted to share is that two things I noticed, and I did an interview years ago, and he pointed it out to me. You see, one of the things that I've noticed ever since I've been doing these interviews, including me, we all have hip hop in our background.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
You're going to find it there. Now,
let me raise both my hands. I do too.
Okay, I'm raising my hands and my feet. Okay.
Yeah, I do too. Yep, exactly.
And then the second thing that I want to just say, I wish that you got the cats that are like popping now, like Travis Scott and these guys like that, and Egos and I wish they would go back and get some of these cats like Big Daddy Kane, like Naughty by Nature, those like these guys. I believe since they don't have the platform anymore, but I believe these guys can still compete. These guys can still flow like that. And
sure they can.
And if you look at it, you will see that I don't know if there's anything revolutionary, but there's certainly an evolution from these other cats that started back in the day. If you ever get a chance, and you just Google, for example, Eminem gives praises to Tretch, Naughty by Nature, because, and if you listen to the flow, also, if you listen to some of these guys, you will listen and you will hear a lot of them flow like Big Daddy Kane with the alliteration, with the words and the back and forth and all that stuff. So, so my only thing is that I wish that these guys would go back and get some of these cats. These guys are laying around. I'm not saying doing it because they're doing their tours and stuff like that, making their little money, but man, there's so much talent that got left behind, in my opinion. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Now, a question, and you don't have to answer. I've been meaning to ask you for years. How did you get the name Vibe? Like Frankie Vibe. And you mentioned your mom's name. We said Latira Vibe.
Lovira Vibe. Mama Vibe.
Mama Vibe. Okay. All right. So,
Okay, so when I was going out in the 90s before I came a DJ, I used to hit a lot of mixed clubs. Mixed
gotcha.
clubs meaning, people of different races.
Hmm.
You had your whites, your blacks, your Puerto Ricans, your Italians, your Greeks,
Hmm.
etc. Right? And there was this one big club at the time,
Mm.
and it was called Club Abyss. And
Okay.
during that period, KTU 103.5 had just came back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was going there with my man from Perth Amboy. His name is Kurt. Curtis, good brother, man. I miss you, brother. He's down in Florida now.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go there, Thursdays, Saturdays, whenever, And we have a good time. Big sound system,
Hmm.
once again, the mixed crowd, play good music, play something for everybody, right?
Hmm.
And they had this MC. His name is MC Get Busy Izzy. And,
Busy.
yeah. And every time he saw me, he said, "Man, brother, always be every time I see you, you vibing to the music, you vibing to the music." And I was just starting to make my transition. I was learning how to DJ and making my, getting my practice in and going out and doing this, that, and the other. And Groove said, hey, we gotta find a DJ name for you, right?
Oh, okay.
And I said, well, your name is Groove, and Izzy calls me Vibe. How about DJ Vibe? But then we found out that there's this brother in Portugal.
Portugal. Okay.
Yeah. His name is that's his legal name, DJ Vibe. It's copywritten and everything. So it
Gotcha.
was like, well, we won't go with that.
Yeah.
And Groove said, well, how about just put your name to it? Frankie Vibe.
Thank you, God. Okay.
Hey, that makes sense. I like that. Frankie Vibe. Now I'm gonna make you laugh because growing up, I was known as Frankie, but I spelled it with a Y at the end.
Oh,
F
okay.
Franky.
Uh-huh.
Frankie. And I
Uh-huh.
said, well, I ain't going with that. I'm going with the IE. And
Okay.
when I wrote it, I said, oh, that looks nice. Yeah, that's my DJ name. So,
Wow.
yeah. So that's how Frankie Vibe came about. Because, my government name,
Mhm.
it just would I just didn't want to go with my birth name.
Gotcha.
No shade on my parents, but
Hmm.
I just didn't want to go with that. I wanted to have a name. I wanted to be cool like Groove. Groove has,
Okay.
DJ Groove. Come on.
Yes.
I love that name. Yeah, and I love the brother. So, but yeah, so that's how Frankie Vibe came about.
Okay. Speaking of Groove, I know Groove.
I know. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Groove, dope DJ for years and years and years and years.
Yes.
Very,
Yes.
very knowledgeable about it.
Oh man, please. He's a walking encyclopedia when it comes to house music.
You
When it
know,
comes to the party scene, just overall.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell you on the equipment side, I had a problem with my laptop, not the one that I had there, but I had another laptop. It would take it seemed like days and days and days to load up. So he showed me this little hack. And once he showed me a little hack, my laptop loaded up just like that. So
Mm.
interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I'm not surprised. Not
yes,
surprised.
yes, yes. And Chap too, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yes.
So I met Groove. Did I meet him through Chuck? But certainly I got information from through Chuck. Let me ask you this question. All right.
Sure.
Okay, here's something is I don't want to say controversial, but I think there's different feelings in the I'm going to say in the church community.
Mhm.
So if you saw the movie Ray, when Ray was doing, even though he came out of the church, whatever, when he started doing the secular music, people had a fit. Now, let's talk about Gospel House for a minute. There are some people, and I know because I know people who said, wait a minute, that's not God's music. But wait a minute, I'm going to go a little further with it.
Mhm.
All right. And I'm going to tell you what happened. So you remember when God's Got It came out and Work It Out?
Mhm.
Okay. So here's what happened. And she's asleep anyway. She's not into house music anyway. So my wife played this song it was a R&B, because a lot of people who are into church music, not into house, but they will listen to R&B church music. So she played this R&B song and she said, "Boy, isn't this really good? Isn't this really good?" It was an R&B, about maybe 98, 100 BPMs, whatever.
Mhm.
I say, "It's all right." I said, "But you want to know what I'm listening to?" And I put it on God's Plan and Work It Out. And we cracked up because she really wasn't checking for that. But the energy is there. Okay.
The energy's there. Yep.
Okay, but watch this. Here's where it gets really better. So I have a pastor that I know, and I said, "Listen," I said, "if you want to get this place popping, you should consider playing some of this gospel house." So I gave him God's Got It and Work It Out by Charisma. And he said that, spiritually is correct, but it's too pulsating. Now, here's where I'm going with the question. All right.
Go ahead. Nope. Go ahead.
Okay, number one, I mean, to be honest with you, I think if you want to make some of these churches pop, play some gospel house. For example, like one of the songs right now that is like blazing is "Praise Is What I Do." Now, you heard that. Now, as a person who is a man of the cloth, how do you feel about that? In addition to that, and there's a religion where you cannot play that style of music because they consider that entertainment. You don't play with God. Tell me your point of view on it, and should we do it in churches? What do you think that? Give me your thoughts.
Okay, a couple of things. And once again, this is just the lens that God's given me and the experience that He's given me. So I'm giving it from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's funny you mentioned this because, as I told you, I just came from a rehearsal and I was in the church.
Mm-hmm.
And before I left, I played Work It Out. I played it's actually a mashup of Come On and Pray and Work It Out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people were dancing
Mm-hmm.
in the pews. In the pews.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because once again, if we're gonna leave the house, let's leave with a dance in our step and a praise in our mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it for everybody? No. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
If it ain't for you, it's like anything else. Turn the channel, turn the page. But it'll be for somebody else.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And how do I say that? Because I went through it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I start out with House of Inspirations on 89.1 WFDU FM out of Teaneck, New Jersey, at a radio show, it was on from 1:15 to 6 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing live. This is during the vinyl days. Okay. I'm playing live. I'm monitoring the board. I'm taking phone calls. I'm chatting, multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
And, during the night, you get calls, people enjoying it, making requests, blah, blah, blah. But then you'll get one or two. Who do you think you are? You cannot combine God's word with these secular beats. I'm not listening to you ever again. Click. Okay.
Okay. See ya.
See ya. Now, initially, because once again, you have that zeal, because when I started with the radio show, just a year prior, I gave my life to the Lord.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And he once again, God being strategic, God taking the foolish things of the world to give him praise, honor, and glory, to bring somebody closer to him. Once again, It's a tool.
Okay.
It's a tool
Okay.
to bring somebody who's lost, who doesn't know the saving grace, who doesn't know who Jesus is. It's a tool to use to bring them in. It's also a tool for those who it's actually twofold. It's a tool to bring those who know the music on the house side, gospel side. They know the music, but they may not know the Lord. And for those who know the Lord, but they don't know the music, you know, goes twofold. Initially, once again, having the zeal because you're doing what God's called you to do. You're excited about what you're doing. You're excited being used by the Lord. Initially, it hurt. When you get those comments, it hurt. But then, as I grew in my faith, as I grew in my relationship with the Lord, just brushed it off.
Gotcha.
Okay, it ain't for you. That's all right. Because guess what? I got a call from Russia saying, Frankie, we need more of that music. Can you send us some music? I want to do what you're doing.
Okay, now. Okay.
So, okay. Yeah. That brother says, okay, you were insulted by, okay, I'm sorry. Hey, God bless you. But for someone else,
right,
it's blessing them. And they want to be a blessing to where they are.
Right.
So, you're once again passing the baton. You're going forward in the assignment, and folks are being blessed by it. And they want to do what you do, and I thank and praise God for that. Because once again, as we talked about, if what we do just ends up with us, if we're the end all, the be all,
right,
then we didn't do what we were supposed to do. It shouldn't end with us. You have to pass it on. You have to pass on your knowledge to folks. I'm not saying pass on pass on your library to others. No, they still got to get the music and get the equipment like we all did. But you can just keep them encouraged, and you can mentor folks. Just like I was mentored, just like you were mentored. Somebody mentored us, just like somebody told me about Jesus Christ. So I'm going to tell Jesus Christ. I'm going to share Jesus Christ with somebody else. All it goes to paying it forward. So once again, I always said that the music for religious folks, they won't get it, and that's okay. It ain't for them. But for somebody else, because I remember getting a phone call where somebody would say to me, hey man, I don't know who you are. I just tuned to this station. I don't know how I ran into it. I never heard it before, but the music you're playing is something I really needed because I just had an argument and I laid hands on my wife, and I know I shouldn't be doing that, man. But what you're playing, is just letting me know that, I can do better, or, there's resolution between me and my wife, keep doing what you're doing. Could you pray for me?
Okay, now. Wow. Okay.
So, pray for him, and, and just shout that person and just keep them lifted up in prayer. So it's like, yes, I'm, even it ain't me, we're doing what we've been called to do.
Right. Frankie,
just being the mailman, just being the deliverer.
Frankie, I want you to listen to this for a minute. All right. Just like we have different languages, we have different media.
Yes.
The Lord does too. Now I'm gonna tell you where I'm going with this. All right. Now, let me tell you how disconnected I was. Now, I grew up in the church as a kid, but then I got to the point where when they couldn't make me go anymore, I stopped going. And I stopped for years. But watch where I'm going with this.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's kind of like having a bad tooth. Like, know it, you got that bad tooth, and you need to take care of it.
Right.
So, but that Friday night is killing you. You say, Monday, I'm going to get this tooth taken care of. You Tylenol up, or well, I say you can't use it now anyway. But anyway,
I'm using Tylenol, but go ahead.
I've been an ibuprofen guy for a while. But anyway, you medicate up. Figured I'd have a little fun with that one because that was
yeah, absolutely.
But you medicate up
Mhm.
by Saturday night, Sunday, you're starting to feel a little better. You say, I know it's going on Monday, but Monday's a very busy day, and this happens, and of course you don't go. So this happens for time and time and time and time. And what happens, it gets to the point where it's Friday night, you medicate up, you go through your routine. But Sunday night's no relief, and you say, "That's it. I'm going Monday morning. I'm going. It's me and that dentist. We're gonna make this happen." And you finally get it taken care of. You say to yourself, "Hey, I'm glad I took care of it." So for me, that was January 31st, 2010, because I was raised in the church, but I wasn't going. I didn't go for years, and then I felt compelled to finally got to the point where it's like, okay, let's cut the baloney. Now, let me tell you where I'm going with this. All right. So there's a lot of songs that are made in the church, and I didn't even know they were gospel songs. I didn't even know that. Now, I'm saying to you also, you talk about the Lord being strategic. Maybe if I would have been in church that whole time, I might have taken that attitude that you cannot have gospel house. But now watch this. Okay, so let's say the Lord has multiple ways to bring you to him. All right. Okay, let me tell you what I did not know was a gospel house. And everybody was like looking at me like, now they didn't call me heathen, but I mean, I just didn't know. Okay, Kenny Bobian, I shall not be moved. I didn't know.
I got a story. That's why I'm laughing at you. I'm not laughing at you, but I have a story. But go ahead. Go ahead. Tell it. Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that "Work It Out" was a gospel song originally, and when Charisma remixed it, I did not know "Praise Is What I Do" was the gospel. I did not know. I didn't know this. But
it's okay.
You would have never brought me to that through the way it was originally done.
Right.
I could go on with other songs. Yolanda Adams, the one they play all the time. I didn't know, but again, you never would have brought me to these songs had I not heard it delivered that way. So, one last point along that.
Well, before you go there,
okay,
let me encourage you because the same thing happened to me.
Okay,
prior to being saved.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on our craft, getting better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, going to Groove's house, practicing,
mm-hmm.
going over music. And one day he's like, I got this record. You're going to love it. And I'm like, okay. Kenny Bobian.
Okay.
I shall not be moved.
Okay.
Oh, man, this is great. Oh, this is off the hook. Yeah, we're going to put this on the tape. Definitely. Love it. Awesome. Okay. Make the tape. Play it in the car. Month later, had to go to Ohio to visit my grandfather, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the car. My mom's in the back. Tape's playing. I Shall Not Be Moved comes on.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, oh, that's an awesome gospel song. Oh, I love this song. Oh, this is great. Gospel? What are you talking about? It's a Kenny Bobian record. No, son. That's a gospel record. That's a gospel song. No, Mom, tell her this is Kenny Bobian. I'm sure he just put pen to paper. He's an awesome vocalist. I'm telling you. Said Frankie, I'm telling you what I know. It's a gospel song. Years later, when I started to go to church, because mind you, I was not raised in the church,
mm-hmm.
but through my mother's urging, I would go once in a while. Mm-hmm. And when I would see my grandfather as a preteen, because he was a bishop, he had 3 churches, one in Toledo, one in Detroit, and one in Sandusky. Mm-hmm. But then, of course, I come back home. It's like, okay, Frankie, doing my thing, mm-hmm. And so years later, I go to church, after hearing what my mother said. I got invited to go to church,
Mhm.
New Zion Baptist Church in Elizabeth.
Mhm.
And what does the choir sing? I shall not be moved. Oh my God, mommy's right. This is a gospel song. I had no idea because I never heard it like this. I heard it
Right.
with the beat.
Right. Okay.
I heard it, that driving beat, that rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear it with a choir, with during the bridge, a soloist is doing the bridge. I know, wow. And then after I gave my life to the Lord, it's like, okay, what is this song based on? It's based on Psalms 1.
Okay. Wow.
I shall not be moved. I'll be like a tree planted
Got
by the rivers of water.
you.
It's based on Psalm 1. And once again, this goes back to my mother being that DJ influence on my life.
Mm.
And she didn't know it, but yeah. So yeah, that story I so relate to, brother. I know exactly what you mean. So just imagine people, in all these other countries, when they heard Kenny Bowman, they probably said the same thing, didn't realize that they were singing a gospel song.
That's just like these hip hop cats don't realize that when they were playing this music, or even now, you hear music and it's sampled, and they
Yes.
don't realize it came from James Brown and to make that song, or Billy Bob. Then that's not Parliament. What are you talking about? But meanwhile, it goes back, and like I say, there's so many songs that I did not know were gospel songs, and they went back and they reimagined them. And so I think a lot of people might show up in church and they had a DJ putting that stuff on it, putting that stank on it, so to speak.
Well, yeah, and that's another. I'm gonna go down this path because in the 20th century, we as DJs were looked at as heathens because you're living a certain lifestyle. It's not conducive, to your relationship with the Lord. We ain't having that here. So you're a heathen, right? After I gave my life to the Lord, I got invited by a church out in Detroit because they were doing what's called a Christian rave. And that's dancing to these, and that's more on the EDM side, but they give it, but you still hear the praise of God, but it's not soulful at all. It's very electronic. And sure enough, they invited me and other DJs to play in the church. And and my man Terrence Parker, who's from Detroit, he said, I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see an actual DJ, a soulful / gospel house DJ, actually DJ in the church. Because once again, that culture, the mentality is we're not accepted because we're worldly,
Right.
we're worldly people, and there's no hope.
Frankie, listen to this. I got one more story before I go to my next question. All right. So, when I met my wife, I didn't know she was going to be my wife. And she was checking for me, but she always kept it professional. So I didn't realize she was checking for me.
Right.
So then one day she found out that I was a DJ. And she said, as far as she was concerned, Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Right, she came out of that environment.
Yeah, she marked you. She put a big old X on you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then her mom was of that thinking also. Can't get involved with this Cinnamon. But then later she came to her senses. I have to stick that one in there just in case. But my point is that, and the whole point I was trying to get at is that I think it's okay for people to listen to the word or listen to house music and also include spiritual stuff in there. Or it's okay to take spiritual stuff and reimagine it and put it into here. And again, Talk to God about it. There's so many songs. So anyway, I just had to ask that question because I know.
Oh, I can relate.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate. Trust me, I can relate
Now,
because once again, same thing. It happened to me.
mhm.
Same thing. So I know exactly where you're coming from.
Now
Hmm.
talk to us about what you have going on and what you can share that you have going forward. And I also want to talk about House of Inspiration. I just want to make sure we bring that up. Tell us about that. And then what can we look forward with you going forward? What's on the table that you can share? Hmm.
There's a few things. Actually, currently right now, and this is outside of DJing. Um, I'm actually an actor. I've been
Okay.
in 3 faith-based films
Hmm.
under my good friend Sidney Ramey. He's a preacher, Apostle Sidney Ramey. And I'm actually working on my 4th.
Okay.
Um, I'm very excited about because once again, that's something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to act. However, what is funny, I always ask God that, hey God, I'm a military veteran. I always figure I'd be featured in a military film. I play a
Okay.
Marine.
Got you.
And God's put me in these faith-based films where 2 of them I played the same character, a cop, a detective. Matter of fact, in this one I'm playing the detective. Another in another film, I was actually the drug dealer and I was locked up. We filmed scenes and at the Orange Jail. Like
Okay. Got you.
I'm wearing the orange jumpsuit and everything.
Hmm.
Yeah. That was something. And I'm still going to get Apostle Sidney for putting me in that jail, but he knows he knows I love him. Yeah. So yeah, I'm doing that. Um, uh, Serving at home, which I love. I'm grateful to be back home in Roselle.
Hmm.
Um, um, really starting to kind of, like I said, kind of reinvent House of Inspirations now that, as we're going into the 25th anniversary,
Hmm.
so starting to put the mixes, just trying to be seen more,
Hmm.
um, as far as, putting the gospel house genre out. I'm just thankful that there's so many other DJs that they've grasped the baton and they're running with it. Perfect example, my man DJ Rich Williams. He's
Yes.
been having the Sunday night gospel house mix show for years
Hmm.
on themastersgroove.com. Big shout out to Rico Flores.
Hmm.
So he's making it happen. My man L Dub, Lloyd Wharton out of Maryland.
Hmm.
He's been playing gospel house for a long time. Um, uh, Man, there's so many others, but
Yeah.
I'm just thankful that and of course the people out of Chicago, my man Al Hot Mix Holmes and
Okay.
Get Down Crosby. Matter of fact, me and Hot Mix Holmes, we've done a few productions with some folks. We're known as the Spirit Boys.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we've done some production together. We did production with Paula Brian.
Okay.
We did
Sure. Hmm.
Yeah, we did something with Darren Deek out of Newark, who's known as Christian Wall. He went on to glory, but we still honor him, and I thank God for him. I think, he man we did so many shows together. I truly miss him. I do my best to honor him when I'm putting out my gospel house sets.
Hmm.
Uh, as you know, Elias, who
Right.
passed away, I had the honor and privilege to do the eulogy for him
Right.
in my hometown. So,
Mhm.
keep the Lewis family lift up in prayer. Big shout out to Sister Felicia Lewis. We love her. I think about her and try to stay in touch with her every day as best I can.
Mhm.
Um, Matter of fact, speaking about Chicago, I want to give Chicago. We're praying for you because our brother Ron Carroll, he was known as the Minister of Sound. I
Mhm.
featured so many joints of his when I had the radio show. He recently passed away.
Mhm.
Um, he was a forefront of the gospel house sound. So Chicago, we're praying for you over here in Jersey. We love you. I was actually just about to let him know, literally, like I was going to let him know this week before I found out about his passing, that I'm coming to Chicago to talk about the gospel house sound. And then we got notification that he passed. So, but Chicago, we're praying for you. Big shout out to Farley Jackmaster Frunk. He's a good friend of mine. But yeah, I'm going out to Chicago at the end of next month to speak about Gospel House, and talk about it, and where it's going, where it's been, and where it's going. It's been one heck of a ride, man. It really has, and I just give glory to God for the people we've met. Oh, and of course, I got my man D Real, Gospel Housing Authority.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, he's been doing it up for a long time, man. Very long time. I'm thankful for him. He actually was my successor on FDU because I had relocated, and he stepped in, and he held it down for a long time, and Gospel Housing Authority is still around. He's doing what he does. So like I said, there's just so many people. I got my man Pat Rebel, he's overseas up in Switzerland. He's doing it. Of course, Kenny Bobby and him and I have done a House of Inspiration spring celebration. We did one at a Dream Upscale Lounge this past year, and we had him perform. Chris Lavelle, she's still doing her thing. Of course, Dawn Tallman, no, Aaron K. Gray. I love some Aaron. I love some Aaron. Mr. Steve, he was doing that. Haven't heard from him in a while, but he was doing it. Who else? Oh my God, there's so many names. Of course, Jasper Street Company. That was my Jasper Street Company was my first. Them and DJ Spin. Those are like the first records I bought as a DJ. Of course, God helps those themselves.
Oh yeah.
And but there was a record. That feeling. Yeah, that feeling. Yeah, a feeling. That's what it was called. Yeah, man, that was like one of the first Jasper Street records I ever bought. But yeah, those guys, Charisma and Spin and DJ Exotic. Oh my goodness! But there's just so many people, right? In our country and around the world that's holding it down and they're doing it and making it happen. And I'm just thankful that we're still doing what we do, and we're passing it down. So it's in good hands. I believe it's in good hands. I'm just thankful that God's allowed me to do it. I always said, when the Lord says stop, that's when I'll stop. He hasn't said stop.
Let me ask you another question here, and I'm going to turn the corner, so to speak.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe the original Fantastic Four was you, Steve Davis, Joe X, and Roz Anthony. And listen, when you guys were playing, it was straight fire. I mean, I don't see you guys as doing as much. Is that on purpose? You guys coming back? What can we look for? Because when you guys announce the place is sold out, it's going to be sold out. What can we look forward to from you guys?
Yeah, you're taking me back to those Dragonfly Lounge.
Absolutely.
Those, I have to admit, those were some great times. The community came out, New Jersey house community showed up and showed out, and we had some great times there. We really did. I miss those days. And I want to thank the New Jersey house music community for showing the love, support, and the encouragement that they did. But we are coming together October 3rd at Dream Upscale Lounge.
Okay.
We're going to be doing it up, from 6 to about 1 or 2 p.m. Myself, DJ Chillax. And I'm really proud of Chillax. He's getting his flowers. I'm really, really happy for him. He's doing so much. And of course, the legendary Steve Davis. Steve Davis. I've learned so much from him. He not only is he a good, excellent DJ, but he is an excellent businessman in the business of house music. It's real important that DJs learn the business of house. Don't nobody owe you nothing.
Hey,
don't nobody owe you nothing. and Steve taught me that, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate him showing me how to build the brand or enhance the brand, because I always had a brand, but I had to tweak it, and I'm always grateful for that, for his advice. He jokingly said, people don't listen to me. I'm like, dude, I'm listening. I'm taking notes, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
I like your Steve Davis impression. Okay.
Yeah, but he does. He may not show it, but he does care. He really does.
Right.
He wants to see people succeed. Big shout out to Diamond D. And of course I gotta give props to my JPS Productions. She makes me look good. Your niece, So I thank God for JPS Productions.
Right.
And of course Ross Anthony. Ross Ant is a master on the mic.
Yes.
He is a master at what he does.
Yes.
He is a master showman.
Absolutely.
He knows how to get people involved. Man, let me tell you, I'm gonna give you a Dragonfly memory. You weren't there, but one night I was opening. I got the people going, people excited, we're excited about what's going to go down. And, I got them going. Ross Anthony comes in, man, it went from, I could just feel the change. You could feel the intensity. It went from here to here. When he walked in and got on stage, and it was like, yo, let's go. Let's go.
It's time to
and we had an awesome night. And like I said, Dragonfly Lounge, man, the memories there, they were happy we were there. We never had one fight.
Right.
Not one fight. And once again, that's a testament to the New Jersey house community, because people showed love to one another, want to have a good time, got their eat on, got their drink on, whatever, got good music. People showed up, and you were there, and I thank you for coming out. Your niece Joy, thank you for your support, brother. It was really appreciated, man. But we had some great times there. We really did.
Yeah.
But once again, we turned the page. We're trying to make it happen. That dream. Of course I gotta give a shout out to my man, the organizer. Frank Young.
Okay.
I gotta we gotta big him up, for keeping us together,
Right.
I'm thankful that he keeps us on the even keel. Nobody ever fell up on the wayside, fell by the wayside. We show, it's a brotherhood. It's a straight up brotherhood. Nobody acts like, well, I'm better than you. Well, I'm better than you. Well, I should get paid more. He keeps us even and honest. So I'm thankful for that. Very thankful for that.
Wow. Well, we want to see you guys ride again.
Well, come out Friday, October 3rd, the Dream Lounge. Let me check the phone real quick so I can get the address, because I know people are gonna be like, well, I heard the Dream Lounge, but I don't know where it is.
Tag me with the info. Tag me with the info.
Here we go. It's first of all, it's $10 before 10 p.m. The kitchen is open. We have free parking. You can reserve tables. Text 908-386-9270. All right. And we're starting at, like I said, 8 p.m. October 3rd.
I need you to text me on this.
I'm going to send you the flyer right now as we speak.
Yeah, but I need you to tag me too, so that I can share it.
Oh yeah, when I post, I will definitely tag, because I'll do that probably as soon as we finish. I'll get on the computer and do some posting, do some tagging, and all that good stuff. Let me see if I can just find your name here.
Yeah.
Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. trying to handle the business. That's all. Because once again, we appreciate Soulful House Nation.
Well, let me just
doing an outstanding job.
One thing that I just want to share with you.
Yes, sir.
As we get down to the wire and come in for a soft landing, one of the things that I like about your collective there is that, you don't talk like people owe you anything. And
No, because you know why? Because nobody does know us anything.
okay, but listen to this. So as you can imagine, okay, I talk to a lot of DJs because of interviews and people talk, and I'm not saying like there are some DJs who feel like, well, they don't want to put me on because I'm too this, I'm too that. They don't want to put me on. And my attitude has been, and you can go back and check out some of my other shows, other conversations. I said, well, I said, when the people are spending their time, their energy, and their money, it's their judgment call. They got a right to put on who they want to put on. All right, let's start there. Second thing is, if you do an event, you're not going to put everybody on. You're going to put the people that you think should go on. Okay?
Correct.
So you can't be mad about that. But guess what? There's nothing stopping you, especially now, from doing what you want to do. One guy said, yeah, but it's hard. I said, yeah? You think it was hard? Was it easy for them? I said, no, boo-boo. You're going to have to put that work in. And you know what? You're going to have ups. You're going to have downs. You're going to have nights where you just blow it out the water. And you're going to have nights that you say, oh, man, what just happened? So, and it's up to you whether or not you want to do it. It's up to you whether you want to keep going. It's up to you whether when you have a great night that you recognize that as a great night, maybe go back and look at the ingredients that are happening. But then when you have a night that's not so favorable, that you say, okay, so let me figure out what happened here or whatever, and I'm going to come back. So, I really admire what you guys do because you're not waiting to be anointed and appointed to do what you do. So I say blessings to you on that and keep at it,
Yeah, I think, to be honest, because, unlike the 20th century where stuff it wasn't available. I mean, we it's literally at our fingertips now.
Right.
Where you can get the equipment that you need, where you can, if you talk to event, those who own a venue, you can do a night, and you can do it, and you can do it yourself. I mean, I know I stepped out in faith and did House of Inspiration Spring Celebration. I definitely stepped out in faith. Did I do it just myself? No. I relied on people around me. Once again, I relied on some wisdom from Chill X and Steve Davis and Frank Young. Even yourself, you gave me some input. And so once again, so many others. Collaboration is key.
Yeah.
You gotta collaborate with folks, and if you don't want to collaborate those outside your circle, just collaborate within your circle.
Got you.
Everybody's got a circle. If you got family, you have a circle. You have an inner circle. But nowadays, I mean, you can do it. You have the resources to do it. You have the means to do it. If you're a working man or woman, all you got time is just the time. Take the time to put in the work, because yes, work is definitely involved, but the end result, it'll be good if you put in the work. No one's going to give you anything, and nobody owes you anything. Right. Oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. Yeah. That ain't nobody trying to hear that no more.
Right.
Ain't no If you want to do something, you can do it yourself. Create your own lane.
There you go.
That's pretty much what I did. And you're doing the same. You did the same because you're doing it now.
Right.
You create your own lane. You created Soulful House Nation.
Right.
I mean, and you're at it. You got your foot to the freaking pavement.
Right.
You got your hands on the plow. You're doing the work.
Well,
I ain't mad at you, brother. I ain't mad. Look. I'm in my lane. You're in your lane. We're looking at each other and we're just going, hey man, how you doing? You good? Okay, good. All right, I'm about to go to another gear though, but but we in our lane.
You know what?
The only way, let me just finish this thought.
No, I'm sorry.
And
I just got excited.
the only way that it won't happen to you if I run into your lane, if you run into mine and you disqualify yourself.
Right.
Or I disqualify myself. Because I'm trying to do what you're doing. Why would I do what you're doing? You're doing it.
Listen, there's okay. So from my perspective, like there are people who are doing something in this community, but they have a different flow. If you look at what Stacy is doing, I'm applauding her, the Stacy Mitchell experience. Now, I can't do what she does. She does what she does. You got Momo, who does what she does. Then you got another young lady that's doing stuff that a lot of people may not have seen. Jean, I'm gonna say her name is Sermons or something like that. She does a lot of stuff. You got Adrian Miller, who does take a lot of like little short video clips with people dancing. You got what you guys do. So I mean, there's room for everybody.
There's room for everybody.
There's room, right? And oh wait, how could I forget? I didn't. Sage, Bilal, and Norm doing the Don Hall.
Yes.
It's like, it's like everybody has a different flow. You flow,
The table is set. Just take your place at the table.
Yeah. And
that's all you got. Just take your place.
Then you got Lenny Fontana. So I'm just saying, there's so many different people. There's so many different ways to flow.
Oh, you got my man Moema of Bounce FM.
Okay, yeah.
He does what you do. He does some great interviews.
See,
but once again, he's in his lane. You're in yours.
You know what? So from my perspective, anybody that I can help, I want to do it. I'm gonna tell you these three little things here that happen. As we come in for a soft landing. Okay. So I'm doing this thing every week and everything. And I meet Ricky Clark for the first time. So Dawood was doing the event and it was called House the Runway. So I don't know. He and Marcus were doing something. I don't know how that was working, but so I meet Ricky Clark. Ricky Clark says to me, Dan, he says, what you're doing good things, gonna take off. And he says, three, and of course I said, yep, from your mouth to God's ears. So three things that he said to me. He says, I never forget. He said, Dan, he said, if you get where you want to go, are you gonna only work with people who've blown up or people who've not blown up? And I never, I had always intended to do that, but sometimes somebody says something to him and it crystallizes your thinking. Okay. So he said that. I said, absolutely. Second thing he said to me that, he said, the next thing you should be trying to do, I haven't done it. I shouldn't say that. I've done it a couple of times. He said, get on AM radio and start to build it. Okay. But the third thing he said to me also was pretty powerful. I go get ready. You know that. All right. So I was doing it, but it wasn't like sort of like with intention and doing it. I was doing it, but then I wasn't. And he says, Dan, you ought to make that your little saying. Catchphrase. Yeah. And again, sometimes somebody crystallizes your thinking. Now, I'm not ever ashamed or embarrassed or so insecure, whatever you want to call it, where I'm not willing to say, you know what? I got that idea from Billy Bob or from whoever. But you see, this is when you talk about collaboration, just talk about different lanes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Last thing along those lines, and I always like to say, matter of fact, he gets tired of me here. Most people don't get tired of hearing you say things because they don't get enough credit. But my first ever interview was Eddie Nicholas. And again, there was opportunity and things of that nature. So now I'm 9 years plus later and still doing it. I've done over 340 shows. That's not counting the clips and all the other stuff like that. So, that's
Well, we have something in common
okay.
because Eddie Nichols,
Mhm.
he was my first artist I ever interviewed.
Oh, really? Isn't that
Back,
funny?
yeah, back in 2001.
Okay.
He was my first artist I ever interviewed.
Mhm.
And once again, I met him. It wasn't even face to face, it was through the internet.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
But what happened was I got invited to play in New York by my man Marcus Rice. God bless his soul. He was a good brother. He was known as the Music Man, and he really was the Music Man. He was another encyclopedia.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's where I met Eddie. And yeah, we confirmed the date and everything. Yeah, he was the first artist I ever interviewed. Yep,
Interesting. Yeah.
yep.
Oh, wow.
Good brother, good man.
Yes.
Yes, he is. Good man.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're way past any time.
I'm sorry, man.
No,
I'm sorry.
no. Don't be sorry because we had to talk this. We had to talk about this, and all the stuff that we talked about was all right. That was good stuff. So, any final thoughts from you? Anything that you want to share that you haven't, or anything that coming up that you want to share, or whatever?
Just want to invite the people, hey, we have our Facebook. We're on all social medias, but we're on Facebook. We have a group page called House of Inspirations. Like to invite you to join the page.
Mhm.
I just have one request: just keep it clean. That's
Without a
all.
doubt. Without a doubt.
Just keep it clean. If you share, house music, whatever, just keep it clean. And it can't always be about you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have your own page, and we got plenty of people who want to share the wealth. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, just want to invite folks to check us out on Facebook, House of Inspirations group page. I'm actually building content on my YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
If you just search Frankie Vibe, I'm there. I've added some archive videos that I've recently found, and even some preaching that I did. You can check that out. What else? Like I said, I'll be in Chicago next month. I'll share and tag you, Dan,
Okay, there
with
you
the
go.
details once I get the flyer.
Gotcha.
So I want to shout out to our people in Chicago. We love you. Ron Carroll, you're truly missed, brother. You're truly missed. Let me see. Like I said, we got a oh, I know what I wanted to share. Actually two things. One, if you and it even doesn't have to be church, but pastoral anniversaries, birthday celebrations, if you need a DJ, you want some clean godly music or clean music, whatever, hit me up on facebook.com/frankie.vibe. My email address is vibe212001 @yahoo.com. Also, gospel aerobic instructors. I actually made a recent post because I got reunited with a fellow clergyman, and one of his members, she was a gospel aerobics instructor. She had heard the show, she loved Gospel House, and she invited me to come to Long Island. Like I said, this was years ago, and we did the gospel aerobics class live. So I posted the question, is that still happening? If you're a gospel aerobics instructor and you want to get your class pumped up with some gospel house music where you can get your workout on, you can get your praise on, because Dan, as you know, with the BPMs from 120 to 123, it'll definitely get your heart rate going. You can get your workout on. If you want some mixes, once again, hit me up on Facebook. You can Facebook Messenger me. Because I would love to get back into that. Unlike back then, and I'm gonna tell it, Dan. You used to have to rent equipment.
Mm.
'cause I didn't have my own. Well, guess what? After all these years, I got my own equipment. Yeah, and I even got lights.
Got you. Got
So,
you.
on mobile, if you want to do that, hit a brother up. Let's collaborate. Let's talk.
Okay. Fantastic. One more time, if people want to follow you, keep up with you, support you, how do they do it?
Facebook.com/Frankie.Vibe. House of Inspirations group page, which is on Facebook. YouTube, just type in Frankie Vibe. I do have my webpage. I keep forgetting I have a webpage. DJ Frankie Vibe HOI.weebly.com. I know that's a lot.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, Frankie. Frankie, thank you so much for coming, spending time with us. Really appreciate it. You like poured into us, like big time.
Oh, praise God.
Yeah,
Praise
and
God.
I'm going to suggest that anybody who watches this should watch it more than one time because you dropped a lot of jewels too. And we
I hope they watch it
about
more than
that.
one time. I hope they
Yes,
watch it.
absolutely.
Because once again, please support Soulful House Nation and all that Dan does. Because Dan does a lot. And once again, brother, just go with God. Whatever he has for you is for you. Let no man or woman, try to take what you have, because you have a gem in Soulful House Nation. And you are a gem. You are a gem of a gentleman. And I appreciate your friendship and your fellowship. And once again, don't forget your first ministry, which is home.
Got you.
Don't forget your first ministry.
One last thing I want to send you away with. I know you said you're going to Chicago, and I've interviewed people from Chicago, like Steve Silcurley, Byron Stingley, Steve Maxwell, Alicia DJ, and several others. But if you have relationships in place, ultimately with Soulful House Nation, I want to take this to the public. I mean, see, like this is really, really important stuff that we're doing. Our music is American. It's as American as rock and roll. Our music must be seen and must be heard. And for the most part, I'm going to say it's underground. But think about this past Saturday in Plainfield.
Yes.
Bless Lenny Cathcart. And literally, I would have to estimate during the course of the day, maybe 10,000 people came out.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard.
If you look at the place and look at how the place was stacked and packed, it's a big thing. So if you're out there and you talk to people that you think, we should talk to on the show, we just want to keep spreading the word, spreading the word, spreading the word, spreading the word of what we do. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's what and I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's a conversation I do want to have with some people, because it's interesting. Chicago really looks at us, like, on the same level. But they don't know what festivals we have. And two, we can definitely talk about the Roselle House Music Festival and the Plainfield.
Right. Then you have Weequake Park. Then you have Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park, yep.
Yeah. Wanaco. And then there's some others, but then you have some others that are going to happen, like, so you have Mulberry Commons that goes on Wednesdays. Vernon Freeland, and he brings an array of DJs out. You have Jihad does events. Oh yeah, let's not forget Edison. Edison is now in the mix.
Yes.
Let's not forget that. That was Qua this year. So like I say, and we got a lot of talent here too. So anyway, so when
man, let me tell you, and that's what I've shared with people over the years. Jersey's got so much talent, it's ridiculous. So much talent up and down the state. Steve Craig, matter of fact, here in South Jersey, Steve Craig, what he's doing in South Jersey.
Yes.
He's doing an awesome work. Work. He's got the South Jersey Music Festival. And I know he had at least 7,000 to 8,000, at least.
All right. And let's not forget Mark Gibson, what he's doing in Trenton. So we're making noise over here.
We're
So,
making noise. We really
yeah.
are.
So,
But Dan, now I'm going to give you a gem.
mhm,
Here's the thing that's going to kill us, that's going to hurt us. I shouldn't say kill us. It's going to hurt us.
mhm,
The entitlement.
mhm, mhm.
We have a lot of folks that spirit of entitlement. Like you said, going back to what you said, I should be on this and I should be on that. First of all, you can't be on everything. That's number one. You're not going to be on everything.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to that. I should be in the VIP section. I should be on,
Mhm.
man, just be happy you're there.
Right, 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 right.
Just be happy that you're there. Be happy that we're amongst each other. We're amongst our peers,
Mm-hmm.
and let the music do what it do. Let the DJs do what they do, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just enjoy.
Right.
If you can't come out and enjoy the music, then just stay home.
Hey, hey,
Just
hey,
stay home.
hey.
And be on look, because it's going to be on Facebook Live. Just be on the computer and enjoy it that way.
Yeah.
Just do that. But other than that, because I always said, the house community, we do respect one another. When you can go, when venues tell you, we're happy that you're here because we know we're not going to have any fights.
No drama.
No drama.
Right, right.
And big shout out to Zakia.
Yes, yes,
Zakia
yes,
Thomas Coles.
yes. Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to shout her out. She does an excellent job articulating a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate what she does. She does the sign languages at these events, and she works behind the scenes. She sees a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But even what she does, she goes, she feels it.
Mm-hmm.
She feels it, but she keeps on going.
Yeah, yeah.
She keeps on going. So, I want to definitely give her a shout. Like I said, there's so many. You can't name everybody.
You know what? You do the best you can.
You do the best you can. Yeah.
Years ago, I talked to this person who says, well, they don't give shout outs because they always leave somebody out. And I thought about that for a while. I said, you know what? You're probably right about that. However, I'm gonna shout out as many as I can remember. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, and
That's it.
yeah. So wow. Frankie, thanks so much for taking time and pouring into us.
Oh, thank you, Dan, for having me. I appreciate you.
Really appreciate it because this is like one of those conversations you don't want to end, but I'm sure you got to go to work. You got to be up for 6:15, and
yeah. Actually, I do. Yeah, I do.
yeah. And I got so we got. But listen, Frankie, always a pleasure. Always, always, always love connecting with you. And hey, let's keep in touch.
Absolutely. And once again, I'll tag you on stuff happening.
Got you. Matter of fact,
because you like to be tagged.
yeah. Well, here's what I'm going to say. All right. Some people are like, well, you just tagged me 2 years ago. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but my whole thing is like, look, hopefully I can be a vessel with this house music thing. And I can keep sharing it and 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 sharing it. And listen, we deserve our day in this, not based on entitlement, but based on we put the work in. That's it.
Right. And we love what we do.
We do. We
love what we do. I mean, I'm talking the sound man. We gotta show love to the sound man. Matter of fact, big up to my man Matt Crawford. And so many others. Mel Cherry. So many other. The DJs, the artists, the producers. The vendors. We're family. It's a family friendly community.
Yes, it is. It is.
And once again, one bad apple, it can spoil the bunch, but one thing about the Jersey house community, it does police itself.
Yeah.
Folks will let you know, hey, we ain't having that here.
That's right.
If you're negative, keep that negative energy over there.
Yeah.
We're about uplifting. We're about liberating. We're about freedom, and but more importantly, we're about love.
Yeah.
Love for one another and love for our Creator.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, Frankie, let's we're gonna call it a night.
Yes, sir. I tell you, because we can keep going. I tell you, we can keep going.
And another thing.
Exactly.
Listen, hey, Frankie, thank you so much. Hey, God bless.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Hey, let's let's continue your good work and let's keep it moving.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's it. Keep it moving.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation, coming to you live from the A floor. I am the unusual suspect. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. God bless you.
God bless you too.